Oh, okay. Hello. Thank you, Jason. All right. Welcome, everybody, to RIT Sec Research.
Woohoo!
Thank you. Please clap now or forever hold your peace. Thank you. Thank you. I know. The best section of RIT Sec. We have some lovely presenters today. Okay. Please sign in if you haven't signed in yet. Elections are coming up, and also I'll talk about the ISTA election in a bit, or John will actually. Please sign in, because if you don't sign in, then you're not a member. Whoa. Can you believe it? Shout out to our interest groups and programs. Physical security and RVAPT are still meeting this semester. I believe RVAPT has the mini comp coming up. I forgot to put a slide in that. What, dude? I just made these slides. And physical still meets in this room Mondays, 11 to 12.
Yeah, no one comes to that.
Hey. Hey.
I come, hey.
I come sometimes.
Bailey came.
He came. Yeah, classic. Evan came once, I think, or twice. Workplace, this is where we do everything, all of our groups. You want to talk to alumni, learn about new things. We post all our slides here. This is the place to be. So sign up for that. Sign up for the newsletter. Shout out Jason. If you want to know what we're doing every week, we post that on Wednesday. We send it out. Swag and IRSEC things. If you have prizes, any swag that you ordered, any sort of things, come to the club room. I'll be there. So Danny will be there. Someone will be there to give you your stuff pretty much any day. Blue team shirts, are they in?
They're coming.
Blue team shirts are almost here.
I think they shipped.
According to Max, they were delivered.
They were delivered?
Yeah, today. They were delivered today.
They were delivered.
Okay,
Right, we'll
so
see how
blue
that
team
is.
shirts soon.
Yeah, we all know custom ink caps.
We love,
you know.
yeah, custom ink does. Okay, all you, John.
So as we mentioned with elections, the ISTSCA elections will be next week. Nominations close on Monday, but you have to be a member to vote. It does automatic verification if you are a member. That means if you have not been signing in, even if you are coming, you will not be allowed, your vote will not count. It does not. Yeah, Quan, sign in, all right?
Good.
Boom.
Good.
So if you do not sign in, you will not have a valid membership. To be a member, again, all you have to do is present once or come to 3 meetings of any kind, that being the general meeting right now, even virtually, RVAPT, physical security, WESIS, any of the meetings. You just have to come to 3 of them.
And sign in. You have to sign
Yes,
in.
and you have to sign in. If you've missed it, up until now, you still have time to be a member because there's RVAP next week, there is WESIS next week, there is physical security next week, and I think the general meeting might still count, maybe. So there's 4 additional chances to make it. So,
Thank you, John. Yes, please, 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 please. Elections are coming up. And if you're interested in presenting, sign up link presentations.ritsec.club. If you don't have any ideas on what to present, we have ideas.ritsec.club. It's a bit outdated. You can still reach out to me if you don't really know what to do, or any of us from eBoard. The thing went away. Cool. Love to see it, guys. Thank you, CyberRange. Very cool.
thank you, CyberRange. Very cool.
Technical difficulty. Okay. Yes. Also, if you would like to present, presenting, you learn a lot from it, but you're a little nervous when it comes up. We also have co-presenting, so you can present with an upperclassman. We'll help you through the research. We'll help you up here presenting. It's good stuff. Highly recommend. And if that's not enough for you, we also give you free stuff for presenting. So free stuff. Let's see if I can recall. 1 presentation, you get a free lanyard. 3 presentations, you get a 32 gigabyte flash drive. 5 presentations, you get a lockpick set. 7 is a pad folio, and 10 is a water bottle. And then 15 is a YubiKey. Oh, and this is throughout your entire career at RIT, even as an alumni. So do that stuff. Presenting is cool. We love it. And round of applause for our sponsors, please. This is outdated.
Hey, where's Palo Alto on your slide?
They're on educational for some reason. Like I said, outdated, I guess. And of course, follow us on social media. Shout out to Jasmine for that. We're trying to post more often now. And of course, the disclaimer that I didn't just add, we're not liable for any the misuse of any information. Please follow the ethics policy. I wish Loudon was here to see that, but it's tough. Okay. So without further ado, you have to go to class, right? Yeah, 2:30. Do you want to go before me? Sure. Okay, so Max will be going first, customizing ZSH terminal. I'll have Yeah, and then I'll do the news right after that. We'll switch me and him, and then Robert, and then Elijah. So, if you want to come up, bring that, and then, yep, hooray. Okay, so you clip that on yourself. That's live right now. Solid. So you share your screen. Let me change your name.
No. Where is Google Drive?
Leaks.
Yeah, none of that really matters to you guys.
Leaks anyway.
Yeah, it's actual Z shell instead of bash.
The best shell.
Z shell, bash shell.
Is this close enough? Can people like actually hear me with this?
Bash, I'm just saying Z shell, bash shell.
Oh, okay.
Sound here, so.
Oh, okay,
yellow
awesome.
is good.
Yeah. Hope you all can hear me. So we're going to be going over Z shell, ZSH, whatever you want to call it. Just don't zish. Probably not the right way. So what is Z shell? As you can assume by the SH ending, it's a shell. Just an alternative to something like SH, bash, CSH, KSH, and I'm sure plenty of others that people made on random occasions. Actually named after its creator, Zhong Xiao. He was a Yale professor. He made it in the 90s. And this is just expanding off like everything that like bash wasn't. And it's honestly really cool. A lot of people know it just from, it's pre-installed on your Linux terminals, or not Linux, Mac OS terminals from Catalina 10.15 on. So you're probably using it and probably have no idea. And all around, it's just like super customizable, feature rich, and a ton more. And we'll get a lot more into that. Just on the right, you can see just some of the simple stuff you can do with it. So small things, better tab completion. They actually have recursive tab completion. So if you do something like /VA/LI, and then tab, it'll go right to varlib. So you can try that out whenever. You don't have to use the keyword CD anymore. So CD /C still works, but if you just put /etc, also brings you to the etc directory. Another thing with the recursive path expansion, that's like one part of the tab completion, but still really good. Better matching and globbing. I'm gonna be honest, when I read that, I had no idea what it meant. Basically has its own regex engine built into it. So whenever you're like, ls these sets of files, you can actually specify what kind. If you actually see right here in this screenshot, it gives you some like lists on how to do it. And you can basically do anything that regex does, but it automatically interprets it. Themable prompts, will be going a lot more into that. Loadable modules, there is a ton online that you can just download and make your shell look awesome. Spell correction, if you're like me, have fat fingers, like the Italian sausage fingers, you will be very happy to know that you don't have to type everything exactly right. It does have spell correction. And just some like smaller things, shared command history, you can very easily enable that. So if like, what is it? You realize that a program has to be in sudo, then you sudo I and like try to go back to that exact command. You're not gonna have to retype it. You're able to go right back to it in the history. And then global aliases, also super nice thing. It allows you to make global aliases, so any short commands you have can apply to any users if you want. And then just to go along with it, ZSH or Z shell, whatever you want to call it again, it goes very well with iTerm. iTerm is a macOS compatible, or I think really only macOS. I think it only works with macOS. Yeah, he's excited. Yeah, Emmanuel's very excited about that. iTerm, it is just the alternative to the normal pre-installed terminal. Got a lot of just benefits compared to it. Very customizable. You'll see just like on the top right, that's just one subtab of a subtab, and that's just for customizing text. Actually faster. For whatever reason, terminal is a lot slower compared to iTerm. Not exactly sure the reason, but a lot of people have tested it. More colors. Uses 24-bit colors, so you can really get into it if you really want to. Most people aren't going to use 24-bit colors, but you have the option. Split panes, which you can automatically switch with just like command keys. Of course, just use tmux like everyone else, but you can do it. Search functionality, it has like really strong search functionality. Like we mentioned a little bit with ZSH's globbing, but this allows you to like search all your command histories, and just very cool if you're into that. Profile switching. This is everything from doing a hotkey on your keyboard to switch what theme you want to automatically, whenever you go into a different user, it will change your theme. So very cool with that, and a ton of customization. Yeah, you can even see an example of this where it'll switch your theme whenever you go into root in this corner. So we're going to start from the base, just color palettes or color schemes, whatever you want to call it. iTerm calls them schemes. I'm going to probably refer to them as palettes just because it makes a lot more sense. So this, all it does is assigns the colors that you're going to be using. It doesn't customize your terminal any more than the colors that everything is. Pretty simple. There's a GitHub that I linked. It has like 250 plus themes. I installed them all, and I just love switching it. ZSH, or when we later get into Oh My ZSH, there's a way of just doing a random one. Pretty cool if you just want to be like special. And just overall, to install those, iTerm preferences, profile colors, color presets, import. It's going to be a little bit hard to find just because, again, iTerm is pretty dense in its preference tab. And yeah, like I included just a picture of just A through B of my themes, not even. I think that only goes to BU from A. Just a ton, and you're going to find something easily in the first 10 that you'll love and not even look at the rest. Yeah, so now it's easy as that. So, Oh My ZSH. This is that extension that just like really brings it together. Whenever you see those like really special consoles, like you see here with the Powerline font, where you actually get like custom looking prompts, like really custom looking, like so you can change the color, change what it looks like in terms of ASCII text. This lets you do a lot more like Unicode and stuff like that. So website is ohmyzsh.sh. Kind of funny that they're using an sh domain or end domain. What is that? Host domain? I always forget what it's called. But is what it is. Yeah, top level domain. Yeah. And then just some general improvements. It comes with some preloaded themes. We'll get more into what themes are. Basically, it lets you customize everything from special commands to how it looks, like how we were saying, and converts your ZSHRC file to an actual config file. So if you remember in Bash, the .bashrc in your home directory basically runs every single time that you log into your user. You can also reload that using the command source and then the file .bashrc or ZSHRC. And it automatically custom makes a config file to your preferences whenever you install Oh My ZSH. And then in there, you can just edit a little bit of everything. So now we're going to go a little bit more into the themes. Like I said, Oh My ZSH has a ton of themes. Like I got to A and I found a Gonster, can't probably say, I don't know how to say it, but really cool theme. It's that one with like the arrows that like make everything look really cool. Ton of themes, and those are just pre-installed, and there are so much more online that are just like randomly custom made that are going to be super big. We'll also be going into another custom-made one, power level 10K, the new power level 9K, and again, really cool and just further improvements that are just amazing. Yeah, so all you have to do to change the theme, it's not the most user-friendly thing, but you're just going to go into your ZSH RC file and change ZSH theme to Agonster, Agnoster, or whatever theme you want. You can leave out the .zsh theme file ending. What was it? Also, something to mention, they have a lot of instructions in there. If you set your theme to random, it'll randomly set a theme. You can set it to automatically pick a theme out of a selected few. Really cool, and a ton more. So, my personal favorite of the pre-installed is Agonster. I haven't been able to go through all of them because, again, very dense. I wasn't able to count, but easily over 100. The only thing that sucks, it does not work with normal fonts. So this is where we have to get into Powerline fonts, which just allows us to further utilize, like you saw, just extra, like you can see in these, like the little arrows, those aren't in normal ASCII fonts like that we have, or anything preloaded into macOS. So, really simple. You git clone a repository with the Powerline fonts, you CD into the font folder, and you install it. And there you go, you got every single font. And all you have to do is go into iTerm, check the fonts out, check the font that you want to use. It's going to be Powerline, and then whatever font you want. And right there, you're able to use it correctly. Otherwise, you're going to get one of those like weird question mark ASCII things, and it's not going to know what to do. And then this just fully completes. It gives you some small little features, like down here, whenever you're in a Git repository, it'll say what branch you're in. So master, it'll say if you haven't committed, it'll add some stuff there. Ton of customization. Down here, I failed to CD, even though I don't have to CD anymore. And it gave me an error. It showed me that the previous one failed. Just a ton of little cool small stuff. We'll be expanding a lot more on this with a power level 10K. And then finally, the biggest thing about OhmyZSH is the plugins. Again, just to the right, those are the pre-installed plugins, and the directory, your home directory dot OhmyZSH tagged in the center, and then the subdirectory plugins, and there's just a ton, and so much that you can do. And again, it's simple as just adding them to your ZSH RC file. You can see in the bottom left, just some of the basic ones that I initially put in, Git, ZSH syntax highlighting, auto suggestions, a bunch of other stuff. Really cool and very user-friendly, because most of them are pre-installed, and if not, it's as simple as a git clone, and then add it to your plugins. And then finally, just my favorite ZSH plugins. We mentioned it before, but these are located in that home directory, OhmyZSH plugins. First one, syntax highlighting. So if you see that like red fake command, there's no such thing as a fake command. Obviously, but basically it checks your path and says, does this command exist? And if it does, it'll just make it a normal color. Otherwise, red. So you know immediately if something's installed or not, and you don't have to like go through like enter apt install and all that. It just streamlines everything and just makes it kind of user-friendly. Auto suggestions, this one is not pre-installed. I linked the GitHub, and it's pretty dope. So this, it goes based off your history, as well as I think there might be something kind of like AI-ish. I personally haven't used it enough to be able to train it, but so you can see in the top photo CD, and then recently I went into the plugins folder, and it automatically fills it in. thing you're gonna like intrinsically want to do is hit tab to get that. You have to do right arrow. You can change that, but it makes sense because if you're tabbing stuff, it's gonna try to autocomplete, and well, you don't want to mess with that. And then finally K, it's just the LS Tech LA version of in Oh My ZSH. Add some colors, some like extra stuff, and based on the size of the file, it'll actually change the color of the size, and a bunch of other stuff, as well as it's just a really short-weighted type stuff. And then we've mentioned it before, Powerline 10K. This is highly hailed as the most customizable and powerful theme. I want to call it theme because that's how you install it as in Oh My ZSH. But this is very easily a plugin. This has all the functionality in a plugin, but is considered a theme. So super user-friendly. When you first install this, it literally gives you a command wizard. It's like, hey, do you want these arrows or not? And it'll give you the example. You can actually see this GIF in the corner. And it just like runs through everything. It's like, hey, do you want a line in between? How light do you want it? Do you want the time displayed? What kind of time do you want displayed? 24-hour, no time, stuff like that. And again, automatically presets it for you right after that with all your suggestions. Super cool. You can see in time what your stuff's gonna look like. Also, I mentioned before that there used to be a Powerline 9K. Main improvements for 10K is, again, it's much faster. I think they showed some stuff on their GitHub page, like they ran the same command and one took like 100 milliseconds. Powerline 10K took like less than one. It's like really powerful and just, it's awesome. I hate to say just awesome, but you're gonna use this and it's awesome. And for anything else to get back into that wizard, if you want to change stuff, it's just pk10 configure. It adds its own commands for you and a bunch of other stuff. And if you want to manually go in, do stuff a little bit more granularly, just because the pk10 configure command will automatically bring up the wizard, and then you have to redo everything. So the configuration files are in that home directory, pk10k.zsh. And then that runs every time you reload the, shell. So just some further stuff. To add elements to that, or first off, just like a better view of, these are just like some of the pre-installed stuff that you can get in there. Everything from get controls to directory managers, dates, times, battery percentages, IPs. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff, and you can make your console look very messy very fast if you're not careful, because you just want to like put them all on. So in pk10k.zsh, all you have to do is there is a type set for the left prompt and the right prompt. All you have to do is either add or uncomment whatever you want. That is like the very simple way to do it and the most user-friendly. Of course, you can go much further. I've been testing, trying to create my own, and there is a learning curve, but it's not too steep. Anytime you want it to be on a new line, you add a new line element. Simple enough. And all the configurations are in that same file. So if you ever want to mess with the colors of the individual element, you literally just, in Vim, you'll hit, the pound sign, and you'll go to like every single instance, and then you can really quickly find where that's instantiated and just like change it to whatever you like. And yeah, it is very simple, but very powerful, very quick, and awesome. I'm gonna use that word a lot, but it's really cool. So I just threw a ton of information at you, and if you really want to set this up by yourself, I suggest just jumping in. Here's some like tips and tricks that I wish I knew. First, set up aliases. So I spent a good like hour probably just trying to figure out what I was trying to configure at what point, and just setting up aliases so that like my alias to configure the Oh My ZSH, or Oh My ZSH is OMZ. So right there, you can go and configure, automatically brings you into Vim. Super nice. You can do that for PK10K. No, it's just PK10K, P10K. Your ZSH RC file, and a ton of other stuff. Just gonna make you a lot faster and gonna make it easier to control everything and understand exactly where you're going. Also, in terms of like how this this presentation was organized, you want to first start off with your color scheme, then move into themes, and then plugins. I'm sure that there's no real wrong way to do it. I just did it like that because your color scheme is kind of like your least granular. That pretty much controls what everything else looks like. Your themes are going to control with what everything looks like below that, and then your plugins is just how you're going to use the terminal itself. This is just working down from the top, making sure that you can make everything to your liking and nothing will change in between. And then have fun. This is a lot of fun, just to being able to see your terminal change from like that boring, just like, oh, your name and your host name, and then the caret. Okay, cool. This really makes it cool. Like, someone's gonna come over to your terminal and be like, hey, what's that? And like, I've done that to plenty of people and just like bugged them on learning my ZSH, and so I made this presentation. Also, just like pointer, because it took me a while to figure this one out. P10K does not use actual like colored numbers. Like, you think, oh, 255 is black and 0 is white. Like, you think about hex colors. Yeah, it's not that. So in your color themes, they just have the colors labeled as 0 to 255. There's no real way to tell what color is what based on what the theme is, other than it's generally 0 is going to be reserved for the primary dark and 1 is for the primary light. And you're just going to have to play with that a lot. Yeah, and then the rest are just kind of like generally placed based on the theme. It's just going to be a bunch of random colors, a bunch of random locations. Just going to have to search through it, reload your terminal a lot, stuff like that. Also, don't go overboard. First thing I did is just enabled every single P10K element. And then, yeah, basically every time I entered LS, I was running like 40, 50 other commands to figure out what I wanted to display in my normal terminal. It slows it down. It's not going to be anything like super noticeable. It's not like you're going to be waiting 10 seconds, but it's like if you're just traversing a directory, it's going to be significantly slower because it's running those commands every single time in order to keep it up to date. And lastly, when you're setting up P10K, for your theme, it's actually power level 10K / power level 10K. Not sure why they did it, but I thought I broke my ZSH prompt for a while because I couldn't get it to work. I reinstalled it way too many times. I'll just give you that hint real quick. And I have class in 3 minutes. So I will show you like a very quick just demo of like what mine looks like. You kind of saw it in terms of the theme. What? No, other class. Yeah, but Danny's in my class, so yeah, that one was canceled. Lucky us. So just like short, I have it so whenever we whenever you execute a command, it will delete this like big chunky like whatever you want to call it. So if I don't even have to do that, I can just go into etc. Maybe not. Oh yes, /etc. Never mind. I'm stupid. But yeah, give us notifications on if it's like a locked directory. Of course, if I was in sudo, it wouldn't be that. Basically, just says a bunch of good information. Hey, I'm on Apple. Last command went through correctly. I'm 94% on my computer. My Wi-Fi speed, how much RAM I'm using, current time. I used to have my public IP address. Didn't think that was too good for streaming. But yeah, there's a ton of stuff. You can actually get like a better understanding of what K does. when it's something larger, like my services, red, and then it just color codes them based on that. Yeah. Oh, and then quick, I'll show you profile and then change colors. These are your themes, and like literally a ton of them. And you can just like briefly go through them and change literally everything about your prompt. And you're like, hey, I like that one. Let's stick with it. And now it works. So very customizable, very fast, and just something to make you a little bit more unique compared to your plain bash prompt. So I think that's about it. Need to go do some prob and stat. Have a good day all. Do you have any questions that I can answer like in 15 seconds? What was it? I'm Max Fusco on Workplace and Invader Zim on Discord. Feel free to message me whenever. This has become a little bit of a hobby now. I have to go get to class. See y'all.